Hi, this is Kathy with Barefoot Mountain School of Herbs, and in this video we're going to talk about plantain. We're going to talk about how to identify it, how to process it into herbal medicine, and how to use it. The information presented in this video is intended for educational purposes only and is not meant to give any medical advice, diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Please do your own research and prayerfully make your own decisions regarding your use of herbal medicines. Now, plantain was one of those herbs that was indispensable to the Europeans, so that when they came to the New World, the indigenous people named this plant plantago, which means white man's foot, because they said everywhere that the white man walked, this plant grew. So they cared enough about this plant to bring it with them everywhere they went. They knew that it had really great medicinal purposes. My favorite use of this plant is in topical use, in salves and rubs and astringents and that sort of thing, but it also has a great use as an internal herb, and we'll talk about that as well. But it is anti-inflammatory, so if you have rashes or burns, especially mosquito bites, it's really great on that. And it is the classic drawing salve. It was used in the black. You've heard people talk about the black salves. It's one of the main ingredients in most of them, along with bloodroot and some others. But it draws out, like if you have a splinter or something, you need to get it to come out, or if you need to get a boil or infection to come to a head so that you can get the infection out. Or if you have a spider bite and you want to get the poison out, or a bee sting, it draws out whatever's under the skin. So it's a great drawing salve. It's also demulcent, which means that it's soothing and moistening. It's vulnerary, which means that it's good for wound healing. It's an expectorant, so it will loosen the phlegm so that you can cough it up, and it's antimicrobial, so it's good against bacteria and fungus and viruses. So it's great for use in salves and internally for those sorts of things. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to identify plantain. Now, there are over probably about 200 species of plantain, but the two main varieties, the two that we see around here, are what we're going to talk about in this video, and that is broadleaf plantain, or Plantago major, and narrowleaf plantain, which is Plantago lanceolata. Now, the broadleaf plantain on the left, I'm sure you all have seen that. It's in everybody's yards. It's very common. And the narrowleaf plantain comes up mostly, and it's almost as common, but it comes up mostly in the spring and the fall. It seems to like cooler weather a little bit better. And some people say that it's a little bit more powerful, but I have honestly not been able to tell the difference in the two in any of the medicine that I've made out of them. But these are the two that you see a lot of around here. So these are the two that we're going to talk about identifying. Okay, so this is a picture of the broadleaf plantain, and what I want you to notice in this picture is that it grows in a rosette. You notice all the stems are coming out of one spot in the middle. So all the plantains will grow in a rosette, and that's one of the identifying features. And this is the narrowleaf plantain, and it's a little bit harder to tell, but these also, if you get down in there and dig down in there, you'll see they all grow from a central area in a rosette. All the stems come from the middle of the plant. Okay, now this is a close-up of a broadleaf plantain leaf, and what I want you to notice about this is that you have the midrib, and all of the veins are parallel to the midrib. They all come from the base of the plant, and they all curl around. That is another identifying feature of plantain. And this is the narrowleaf plantain leaf, and you can see the midrib, and all the other veins are parallel to the midrib, so they all come from the base of the plant. And like I said, that is a major identifying feature of plantain. To my knowledge, there are no other plants that grow in a rosette and have veins that run along the, parallel to the midrib like the plantains. And all of the plantains are edible. So as long as they have those two identifying features, there shouldn't be any poisonous lookalikes. Okay, so now we're going to talk about making plantain into medicine. Okay, so the ideal thing is to harvest the plantain leaves on a sunny day, mid-morning, so that they'll be nice and potent. You want to get the healthiest, prettiest leaves that you can find. You can take them home and dry them whole if you want to and use them for later. You can use them in teas, or you could go ahead and wait till later to make your tinctures or salves. That's fine. It shouldn't lose a whole lot of strength. I prefer fresh herb, so that's always what I do. You just chop your fresh herb into teeny tiny pieces using scissors or a food chopper or whatever you want to use. And then to make an infused oil, you want to go ahead and put your finely chopped plantain leaves in a jar. And then you want to pour your oil of choice over the herb until it's all saturated and covered by about 1/4 of an inch. Now, I like to use olive oil in a lot of my salves because it's so good for the skin, but you can use whichever oil you choose. You might want to use sunflower oil or grapeseed oil. If you want a oil that's not going to be very greasy, you might want to consider coconut oil, especially if you're going to use it on somebody with oily skin or for acne and that sort of thing. Coconut oil is not very greasy. So you want to research your oils and see what you want to infuse it in to make, for whatever use you're going to use your salve for. And then you let it sit in a warm place for 2 weeks. I have a pilot light. I have a gas stove, so I set the my oils under the pilot light, and then you want to just take them out and shake them every day. You can also use your car. You could use a sunny window, just anywhere that it's kind of warm, so that it will infuse. Now you can actually make these oils a lot quicker if you want to use a crock pot on the low setting, or if you want to put it on low on the stove. You can do that for a few hours and it will go ahead and infuse. But I do think you could lose some of your constituents with the heat, so I try to do it as gently as possible if I have the time. If I'm in an emergency situation, I might do that, but if I have the time, I will let it sit in a warm place for 2 weeks and shake it every day. And then you strain it out, press it out really well. You strain it out, and then you leave it set in your cup for a while to remove the sediment and water. All of that will fall to the bottom. Check out the video if you don't know how to do an infused oil. Check out the video on that. It'll give more details on it, so that your salves will be clean and they won't go rancid on you. So you want to remove the sediment and the water as much as you can. And then you can use your oils. You can use them like they are for rubs, if you have a large area especially to cover, or you can make them into salves. You can make a very simple plantain infused oil salve by using 1 ounce of oil to a teaspoon of beeswax, and you just melt the beeswax in the oil, pour it into a little salve pot and let it sit, and it'll harden up, and it's a beautiful salve. It's just so useful for so many things. Okay, and if you want to make a tincture, then you want to just place your finely chopped plantain leaves in a jar. For a folk tincture, you would just pour vodka over the herb until it's all saturated and covered by about 1/4 inch, or you can use half pure grain alcohol and half spring water. If you want to make a professional tincture, then you would use a 1:2 or a 1:3 ratio at 50%. If you're interested in learning how to make a professional tincture, I will have a video posted on that, so you all can check that out. You would let it sit in a cool, dark spot for about 6 weeks, and you want to shake it every day. And then you want to press it out very well, and then strain it through a coffee filter, and then you can go ahead and put it in a bottle and label it for use. You can also infuse plantain in witch hazel for topical use, and it's great for, especially for a facial astringent for, somebody with acne or that sort of thing. So and you would use it in the same way that you would use the tincture topically. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about how to use plantain. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about using the plantain oil that we've made. I can't tell you how indispensable this oil and salve is in our home. We use it for so many things. Um, you can use it as a rub on large rashes and burns. Say you have a sunburn, and you wouldn't want to use the salve. You might can use the oil by itself as just as a rub. But you can make it into salve for convenient carrying, especially if you want to take some with you in your purse. I carry it with me everywhere I go, so I make a lot of it into salve. Use it for burns, rashes, wounds. It's vulnerary, so it will help heal wounds. Itchy bug bites. Did I mention poison ivy already? Anything of that nature. It's also, of course, the classic drawing herb, as we said before. So splinters and spider bites and bee stings. Traditionally, it was even used for snake bites to draw out the poison. Hopefully now we would go get the anti-venom, but if we needed to, we could use it to draw out some of the poison. And it combines well with calendula, berberine, St. John's wort, or a variety of other herbs for an antimicrobial salve because it is antimicrobial. And it makes a beautiful breastfeeding balm. If you combine it with calendula and violet, it works very well for that. Okay, so now we'll talk about using the plantain tincture. And in our home, we use it a lot like we do the oils. We use it for topical uses. My husband especially doesn't like anything oily, so he uses the tincture or a witch hazel infusion for like bug bites or rashes or itchy spots, anything like that. But you can also use it as a facial astringent. A lot of teenagers will use it that way for their acne, and it does, it's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and then it draws out the poison that's causing it to begin with. So it's great for an astringent for acne. You can use witch hazel infusion the same way. Just get you a bottle of witch hazel from the store and infuse it, with the plantain just like we did the tincture. You can use it internally for chest colds and other respiratory complaints. It's tonic, so you can take it, if you just feel under the weather with your lungs, you can take it as a lung tonic just for respiratory health for a while. You can also use it for stomach ulcers and gastrointestinal issues. Since it is tonic, you can take it, for a couple of months if you need to, just to correct whatever is going on, respiratory or in your gastrointestinal system, or just as an antioxidant. It's just a great antioxidant just for health in general. So it's a very gentle herb, very just healthy, and it's edible, and there are no known side effects or anything like that to it, so it's great as a tonic. And the last thing I want to point out is that the seeds of the plantain are what's called psyllium, and that is what is used in Metamucil and other bulk laxatives for constipation. So that is where the fiber comes from that they use. Okay, and so that's the end of the video on plantain. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope it was useful. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. Be sure to like and share and subscribe if you hadn't already. And thank you for watching, and God bless you.